Hi guys. Okay, so I wanted to do a fun little thing. I wanted to do a tier list, but I didn't feel like getting out the laptop to do it. So we're just gonna do it in Sans imagination. I'm going to be ranking, doing a tier list, if you will, of my ColourPop palette collection. I own, in the year I bought my first ColourPop palette December 2019, and in the year that I've had that palette I have bought quite a bit. There's only one that I don't still have, and it's not because I like hated it. I just wasn't gonna use it, so I gave it to someone who would, but I wouldn't give someone a palette that I thought was gross. So like, that palette is not in D tier, but I have gone through a lot of palettes. I will count them in editing and put that number up here so that me editing, can do the math later and we can guess how many palettes I own. But let's get started. Bottom of D tier, the Wild Nothing palette. The White Man's palette. I hate this palette so much. And I love the like the art on the outside. I love the way it used to look on the inside. But like, this palette is just, and I know that I've like moved colors around. It's so pale. Like, the only interesting color in this right now is a Juvia's Place eyeshadow that I put in here. Like, it's so dry. You can check out my video reviewing this palette up here in the card area. It's gonna be a lot of videos in the card, probably also in the description. But this eyeshadow palette is so bad. It hurts my soul every time I see it because I think it's gorgeous. I think the outside is gorgeous. You know what? It's desert dry. It's sand. It's so bad. Bottom of D tier. Next up, Garden Variety palette original. I love this palette. Outside gorgeous, inside trash. The only thing it had that I was like, yeah, you did something, were these two colors. These two colors. I will never forget the betrayal I felt when I put on this and it, instead of being copper toned, it was this sheer garbage. I've never felt betrayal so deep in my life. It's so bad. A recent addition, Off Melrose. It's like probably not that bad, but it's also just like unforgivably bland. That, like, I took what I wanted from this palette. I took the really good brown. It's got this gorgeous shimmer in it, but like, what is this? What is this? Just kind of bleh. It's a little like, you know, when you're jumping, everyone has a different jumping in point for ColourPop shades, shadows and things, and it just isn't good. It's like not good, but if you were new to makeup and you're like, oh, I need a neutral palette, this will be fine. It's just not great. Butter Me Up palette. Weird choice. I didn't expect it to be this low, but it's also, you know, a palette that I felt really comfortable destroying. It's very pigmented. I love the red color in here. It has like this gorgeous shadow shimmer silver that I really love, but it's, you know, it's just not out of the 3 palettes that are in this collection. This is the one that I regret buying. I actually bought this twice because I bought it first as a gift for a friend, and then I saw this and was like, I want it, and I had it, and this is the one that I used the least. I had this one the longest, I used it the least. This one actually looks way prettier now because it's been you know, reshuffled. Let me know if I should do a video on this reshuffled palette. But you know, it's just not great. It's not up there for me. This is D tier. Bottom of C tier. The Just My Look palette. It's just not giving what it was supposed to give. I love green eyeshadows, and I've used this several times. I don't like it. Like, it's just not what I want it to be. They normally come out with like a green, like a companion palette to these 9 pans, like a different 9 pan that's also the same colorway, and I'm excited to see what they do with this, because it just shows up very, all of it feels very cool toned. And I know it's like, how do you make a warm toned green? I don't know how they're supposed to do it, but I want them to figure it out, because every time I use these, I don't have anything really to, they have deep shades, but it all ends up looking very muddy on me because there's nothing for me to blend it out with. And like when I use the mint to Be palette, it comes out very cold and silvery, and sometimes that's not what I'm looking for. I want this warm in this shade with it being a matte. It's just not my favorite. I promise that was just as frustrating for me as it was for you. Okay. So, yeah. No. Same issue that I've had with the Just My Luck palette. I was really looking forward to the Just My Luck palette. I have with It's My Pleasure. I was feeling this palette less so it's less of a disappointment. It's just not as good as I Like You a Lot. It just doesn't do it for me. It's not giving what it said. That's the name of this tier. Not giving what it's supposed to give. Like, also, I don't love shimmers like that. So it's just a little frustrating that the purple palette is mostly shimmers. And thank you. Thank you. And it's just not giving what I want for a purple palette. It's very frustrating for me. On to the next. In a Trance palette, another palette that doesn't look the way you would buy it in stores because I changed everything around. I just feel like these blues, and given at this point, there was a Blue Moon palette, which I do love, and on the horizon was the cloud blue palette, which I also love. This just wasn't blue enough or purple enough or dreamy enough. I just use this as a glitter palette now. I have that silver shade from the Butterfly Butter Me Up palette, and it's like so cool and tinny. It's a very cool palette, but it just wasn't giving what I wanted, and I made it give what I wanted. Aurora In and Out of the same collection. I feel like this is kind of an unfair position, but I just don't reach for it. This palette, I don't have Miss Bliss, but I felt like I didn't need it because this palette has this orange in it. Why does a greeny yellow palette have an orange and not a yellow? It has this yellow, but I feel like it could have all around been better. I have it like mixed around, and it has greens in it now that I feel like fit it a lot better than it did when I first bought it. Also, we've talked about this. No more shimmers in my mattes. Shimmers in my mattes is my villain origin story. It's really what deducts points from this one. Is I just don't particularly care for shimmers in the matte. Truly Madly Deeply. I love it. I saw it and I thought, I need to have this. But it's just so, it's giving gentrifier. It's giving Caucasian. And I love, I love it. I've used it. These two colors, Poodle and Cutouts, great colors. I want them in a different palette. They're great. Hungry Ghost, I had 4 Hungry Ghost glitters at one point. I gave one of the singles to my friend, but I own Hungry Ghost, and I think Indigo actually. And Renegade's a gorgeous gold glitter. This isn't a bad palette. It's just not good, and you could tell this was at the beginning of ColourPop, building palettes out instead of just Super Shock shades. And it's just a little, Like, tell me what is the difference between this color and this color and this color? On me, there is no difference. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. Main squeeze. Like Just My Luck and It's My Pleasure, all the colors look the same on me, which is a me problem, I'm aware. It's not a bad palette, it's just not a great for me. I was really disappointed that it doesn't show up like a, there wasn't anything that showed up like a true red on me. That's what I'm looking for, as a red tone person, something that's gonna show up just red as the devil on me. I want red. This red bottom shade is a great lip liner. As far as I remember, these are like good. It's not a bad palette, you know? C is a passing grade. It's just not my favorite. I just don't reach for it. I don't even remember what the shades look like on me. Also, you have this watermelon theme, and I know I would have been mad if it'd come out with a green, but when I see this shade Juicy Fruit, I don't think watermelon, I think Red Delicious Apple. I feel like it was a branding mistake, but you know, that's just me. You could have saved it. You could have saved watermelon for a different palette. You could have saved it. Unnecessary. The ColourPop boop, 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 Make It Fearless palette. This is also another recent one. I just don't reach for it. It's probably okay. It's probably gonna be really nice to travel with if I'm ever able to travel again. I don't hate anything about this. These are apparently like crowd favorite shades. I own Ooh, and I love it. And Bold is a very pretty color. But when you've got 5 shades, and you've got a shimmer that's like a true shimmer, and then you've got like this, like, it has shimmer in it, like buttery kind of textured shade. Why did you put a matte with shimmer? One of the few yellows that is like vibrant and it's got shimmers in it. Villain origin story. Full villain origin story. A tie. I love the concept of this and the concept of this. I love pastels, but I don't love them. I don't reach for them. This one pulls red on me in a way that I don't love and can't really get the color I'm looking for in this. And this again shows up very icy, and I just don't wear a lot of cool tone eyeshadows. Trying to think if I have any eyeshadow looks with this palette, because I love looking at it and I love it. I love the idea of it. I love it existing, but I don't love it. It's very much like I needed to have it because it's gorgeous to look at, but it's not what it needed to be. And I love this, but it's just it's a blue toned pink palette that I don't think favors me, even though I wear a lot of blue toned things anyway. It's not giving what it was supposed to give. Okay. B tier. Okay. Bottom of B tier is the Raw Beauty Christie palette, collab palette at Fourth Sight. I think about using this palette all the time. It's gorgeous. And the same way I don't reach for the palettes in the C tier, I keep reaching for this palette and then feeling unable to do anything because I have very small eyes. And so if I do anything too dark, it makes my eyes look smaller. I'm always trying to make my eyes seem very big, and also Chantilly and Puffball are very powdery. I don't know, everyone talks so highly about this palette, so I'm thinking it might just be like a me thing, but it's very powdery and like this is a gorgeous palette and I did not want to ruin it. And Pacific Northwest is all of it's so powdery and very pigmented, but it will stain your palette. And that shouldn't be something I'm worried about, but it is, because these are, for me, pretty objects that I also use. And I want them to be pretty. And there's nothing wrong with this palette. It's perfectly passable. You did the assignment plus, it shows up on black people, it's great. But also, okay. Ménage à Moi. It's pink. And I love that. It's great. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It has a great lip liner color, something very pink. But anytime I use it, I feel very boring. Like, I feel like my eyes are boring. Like, this would be a replacement for the Modern Renaissance palette. I didn't even buy the olive toned one. I should have, because I like a complete collection. The best thing about this palette is it's a 12 pan with a mirror, and I love that for myself. Words are hard, but it's just boring. It's got glitters though. It's great. It's, you know, it's a nude palette again that shows up on me, which is like, you did the assignment. But you just did the assignment. Like, you didn't have a total lack of misunderstanding what the assignment was. It's just, you know, she's okay. It's okay. Honestly, this one probably should have been lower than this one, but I like it. It shows up red. It's the pink palette that I wanted Cloud Sponge to be, but this is better for me. This is better. I just like it. It's still got a lot of shimmers. There's something about early ColourPop 9-pan palettes that had a lot of shimmers in it. It's like, you don't need all these shimmers. We want the matte colors. We want a spectrum of colors. But, you know, she did her job. She showed up. These two. The whole trilogy would be here if I hadn't given the other one away. I like this palette quite a bit. We're getting to the top. It's got a pop orange. Like, I remember, like, I was like, I have these. I really like this palette, but it's super red. It did the assignment. You can see my videos on these. I love it. I love it. It's good. She's good. She's good. She's good. And this is Grandeur. This one is the brown one, I think, unless I gave my friend the wrong one. I don't know anymore. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I'll have to ask her when she gets back if she could show me which one I gave her, because I might have given her the wrong. No, this is right. This, because Velvet is a brown. I've taken all the browns out of it. It's gone to a different palette. We'll get there, but I shouldn't even show it to you because it's not displayed. It's got the most perfect brown for me in it for like doing my crease, and it's a good palette. This one, like, when I think about like a neutral brown that's just neutral, it's this one. It's super this one. Okay. The palette I waited 6 months for, and you know what? It's pretty high up there. We're at the top of B tier at this point. Palooza Glitter, Queen Bee, this Buzzkill, Totally Buggin' Obi. If the shades are showing up, I'm so happy. Bottom of the barrel. I'm so easy to please. And this one does, and it's very flattering against my ski. It's just a good palette. And that's all I want. I'm very easy to please. Just make the colors show up on my skin. I like you a lot. This is a very specific wand. I call this the Ariana Grande palette because it's got a lot of it feels very Thank You Next. It's the shade names, the color story, it's all very Miss Ponytail, and it's just good. It's so good for me, and it's got a range of mattes, and even this like nonsense transition shade It's only one, and it can't hurt you, Janice. She can't hurt you. I love this palette. It's so good. It's so good for me. It's top of the palette. I don't know why I put that one above this one. I've only just recently gotten to using it, but I like it. I thought I was gonna like Main Squeeze more, but Orange You Glad is like really flattering on me in a way that I love the glitter and the mattes, and it's nice. I've gotten really into orange as just like an eyeshadow concept, trying to make that work instead of using like yellows. And I wanna eat Sunkissed. Sunkissed looks delicious and I wanna eat it. It's so good. We're in the good part of town again. It's great. It's great. Okay, A tier. We don't really have like a bottom or top for A tier because there's only like 3 palettes here. But a thing happened. I went to my local Ulta, started selling ColourPop shades, shadows and stuff. It didn't really get into stores until late 2019. I bought, I think it was actually at the one up in Savannah, and I bought Give Me Butterflies. After I bought Butter Me Up, but I also bought yeah, Give Me Butterflies. You know how good a palette has to be to make you to go out and be like, I need more of these. I bought this just randomly for Christmas and I love it. It's a well-loved palette for me. This red pink tone glider, Making Moves, is a beautiful transition shade. Woke is a pastel pink that shows up on me. It's what I wanted Cloud Spun to be, honestly. Fair Play is a fun, like, bluey toned purple. It's just great. Overpacked is fun on the bottom lash line. Skipper pairs with Play Fair. It's a well-crafted palette. It was here. I bought them. I thought, I need to have all of these. And I need to have more. And so, like even colors I didn't use, like Bloom, it makes me very happy. I just was like, oh, this is great. Get Lost is one of my favorite glitters. It's so, like, can't see my own neck. Like, it's got dual chromes, it's got flex, it like stays chunky when you press it into the skin. It's just great. It's great. Okay. Next palette is a Flutter. I bought this January of 2020 because I wanted more eyeshadow palettes because I wanted more eyeshadow palettes. I knocked over a cup because I startled myself almost dropping a palette. I am a toddler. I am a baby. Pavlovian response baby. Palettes, and it was, I think those were 18 and this one was 13. Because I bought it after Christmas and it was for sales in my Ulta. This is an orange toned one. It's giving the same energy as the other one, and it has like when I would go through Instagram and see people's eyeshadow palettes collections and they would talk about the Pretty Peach palette, and they'd have Hungry Ghost. Oh, I love Hungry Ghost so much. Hungry Ghost is like, I mean, Get Lost and Hungry Ghost are very similar. This one stays a little chunkier than this one, but I love the way they shift to that goldy. This one like shifts goldy greeny blue, and this one kind of stays like a purple pinky green. I love Grove as a glitter. It's just, it feels royal. It's got a gold in the pan and it shifts silver. Swallowtail, my aubergine look is done with this. It's so pretty. This is where I have ooh before. Ooh woo. I really love this palette. It's so cool. And just something for your like lid if you're into that, and then you can deepen it. I think this is it's a really good palette, and if I hadn't been introduced to those two palettes first, I probably wouldn't be as deep in this hole as I am right now. Like, they were so affordable and so pretty, and I thought, they have to all be this good. If this is an Ulta exclusive, what are they doing for the ones that they only sell? Inconsistency, that's what. But, you know. Okay, this is kind of a cheat, but my glitter palette. The Christmas sale around Black Friday, you know, December-ish, they were just like, this is when they were first introducing their build your own palette. Oh my god, you know what, this can go in the A palette, I almost forgot. You could just like buy your own palettes, and I was like, you know what I don't have? Glitter. So I just bought a crap ton of glitter. This is Palooza, this is Clementine. I used to have a goose, Hungry Ghost. I gave that to my friend. This glitter, Booked and Busy, is what's on my eye currently, along with a little bit of Tiny Nuggets. These are my, like, I love all these glitters. I'm currently trying to go through the glitters here that I have duplicates of before I use the ones that are actually in the palette. But I really do just like, ColourPop for people. If you don't like glitter, like, I get it. But like, I really like the way these ColourPop's glitters are. They're fun. And who doesn't love fun? The ColourPop 143 5 pan. I love this. It's just cute. It's cute, and I'm a little upset because my love shade came broken. If you remember from that video, I will plug it here. All the videos talking about each of these palettes will be either in the description or in the card, but they are great. I currently, if you noticed in my glitter palette, have an eyeshadow palette that is cut, a glitter pan that is cut in half, but it's because I shoved it in here because it's all pink and shimmers. My Boo is one of my favorite glitters because it has it's like everything I love about this glitter, but pink, and it's got a blue to greeny kind of whitey shift to it, and I don't remember why I bought Love, but I love it. It's so cute, so pretty, and it's just like a true pink one as well. I like this one's got the chunkier flakes in it, and then this one is like a true shimmer. I just like my shimmers to shift. I like a little bit of hollow. It's, you know, it's whatever. I love this shade. I wish on every star in the sky it didn't have little flecks of shimmer in it, but it does, and I'll live. This matte is nice. It reminds me of Woke. It's a little lighter than Woke, but it's good. It's pink. Again, why can't you be like your sisters? Why are you like this? Just be like your sisters. But I really like Aw. Aw is very soft and cute and pinky. It's like a little like white on me, so it's not my favorite, but it is like, it is what it is. I like this palette. I like them. S tier. That last was A tier. This is S tier. This is the best of the best. My favorite ColourPop palettes. Bottom of the list, Baby Got Peach. I wanted it so bad that I couldn't imagine putting it anywhere else. The hype gets you. It's probably about on level as whatchamacallit, the Honey palette. Those two coming out back to back was a correct decision. They are so similar and so great, but it's very nudey on me. This is all very nude. So nude. But I really like it. It's just like, she's a classic. How could you hate her? I've used this one in one of my favorite videos with my I Don't Get Ready With Me. And, you know, she's a great companion piece to the Going Coconuts palette, which is very well loved. We got Blue Moon and On Cloud Blue. Boop, boop. I just love blue eyeshadow. Someone made the mistake of telling my contrarian self that blue is the horse color, because from that day forward, I've worn so much blue eyeshadow. It's just, they're great. They show up on me. They're nice and deep. These are well curated. The deepness of this last row, this, my Billie Jean actually came shattered, and I was able to repress it into its shape, and I just love it. It's just that it's so good. They're so good. This, if you watch the video where I do this eye, I might have cut it, but I might not. I love Delight. Just want to cover my lids at all times in Delight. It's such a nice, I wish I had this as a single. It's just nice, and the same way, you could tell I go through phases of which glitters I like, because this comes first, and then you get to here where it's like just the whole galaxy in a shimmer. It's so cool. I'm crazy about this palette. These are S tier. They're great. They're amazing. Big Poppy palette. She's matte, and that's all I require from ColourPop. Is they've got a really good matte formula when it's deep enough to show up on my skin. It's like fall, harvest, summer. I love it. I love it with Orangey Glad. Orangey Glad has some shades that do not work on me. I feel like all the shades work for what I needed to do. This is a really good traveling palette. It's good to just have like a deep shade for the outside, your mid-tone. You can see I used this one. This is new, obviously. I just got it this month, but it's so good. Thank you, Miriam. I am very shiny. Lastly, January 2020, yeah, it was like January, February. I was like, I'm gonna do it. Because I remember why I hadn't purchased from ColourPop before. It wasn't that I didn't know about them being great. It's because they didn't accept PayPal at first. And that's all I had to make my purchases with. So they accepted PayPal. I was able to get those glitters. And they didn't have it at the time. Or I didn't buy it because I was like, I don't want to spend that much money. I wish I was still her. This is not what it's supposed to look like. But a palette so good, it makes you want to spend $400 to $500 on all those other palettes. It's good to deepen up the sides, and I can use it on anyone. If they need a brown, I can just... Currently, my Going Coconuts is it's so deep and brown. I call it what do I call it? I'll have it on screen what I brain shopped to name it. I haven't made a new cover for it. But it's just browns. And I do have my mattes with shimmers in it because I can't have everything I want. I'm not allowed to enjoy nice things. But I do have like just all browns, and it's just, I use it as lip liner. Today it's all, my top lip is actually all wish I remembered what the shades were, but all this one and all this one, and it's just like nice and deep for my skin tone. I can cut, crease, boom, everyday makeup if that's what I so chose. Thanks, Miriam. And it's just a good time. It's a great time. Yeah. So that is my list of, oh my gosh, bestie, thanks. I hate you so much. Okay, I really love my ColourPop collection. We'll have the final number displayed here because I don't know. I can't be tasked with remembering things or counting as I go how many palettes I own, but I own quite a few ColourPop eyeshadows palettes, and I just they're currently my favorite brand. One of my other favorite brands is out here messing up on the Twitch, and it's gross. But I do love my ColourPop shades, and I'm probably gonna buy anything. My collection, this roundup isn't complete. I have an order coming with the Barbie whatchamacallit. By the time this is edited, I will have had it, and probably we'll put in how much I like it or how much I don't like it.
It's like a B tier palette. It's fine. It's really pretty. I liked how some of the shades looked on me. I'm still learning how to use it, but it can be a lot sometimes, and it can look really disappointing if you're not careful.
I don't have anything else to say. If you like my content, you're like, Megan, I love your face. I want to see more of it. You can subscribe generally where my face is. You can tap that face. If you're thinking, wow, if you already follow me and you're thinking, wow, I've seen or heard this before, you probably have. I'm currently live on Instagram, where sometimes I go live and I just let whatever I'm doing be raw, and I post it, and it's there for you to enjoy uncut, while on YouTube you get the finished product, fancy, smooth, no crunch. Me, I do. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Megan_blush_. You can subscribe generally down below. You can check out my 2021 playlist here, and you can check out the video I did on this look right here. All right, bye guys, bye.